Okay guys, welcome to another video from the Leather Repair Company regarding this leather jacket that we have here. This is an aniline leather jacket, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you exactly how to apply some protection to this jacket, which is going to help keep it soft and supple. It's going to obviously help stop stains, rain affecting it, dirt buildup, and UV ray attacking the colour in the future. So we're going to use the LRC 4 leather protection cream. We have already deep cleaned the jacket all the way over, and now we're going to use the LRC 4 protection cream to apply the protector over the whole jacket. So we're going to have to sort of do this. You can sort of do it in sections. I always try to sort of work in panels and work that way rather than just sort of haphazardly sort of putting it all over. So we try to work in panels. Once we've done the outside, we're going to let that dry, and then we will proceed and just do the inside. But for the purpose of the video today, we're going to show you exactly how to do this to the whole of the outside of this leather jacket. So this is your LRC 4 protection cream. It is a natural product with natural oils and waxes. So again, you can just apply, and you're going to see what that does obviously once it goes onto the surface, because you're going to see that it probably darkens the leather slightly as it's soaking in, which you can sort of see there. So I mean, again, get it all in a nice sort of circular motion. You want a really nice sort of even coating. It's going to obviously help soften the leather. It's going to give it UV protection, stain protection, and obviously help stop sort of dirt build-up and rain and things like that. And especially with it coming up to winter now, it's going to be a great sort of add-on as well for sort of like winter packages and stuff like that. Or even, during summertime, it's going to help stop the UV rays from the sun beating down, on the leather. So just try to sort of keep your hand underneath these edges where you're going along, so that you're not getting the protection cream going onto the lining. It's obviously not going to affect the lining. You could even pull the jacket up and keep it over on one side like this. But as you can see there, it's darkening as it's going along, and then obviously you can see the item is absorbing, is soaking up all that richness and goodness back into the leather again. So make sure you do all these areas underneath. This is going to help to sort of keep the leather soft and supple and give it a good protection. And it's just going to make it feel luxurious, and it's going to soften it. It's going to make it feel absolutely wonderful. So just keep going over the whole item, getting that massaged in. It doesn't really matter which sort of direction you go, circles, straight lines, or whatever you want with this. It's not really an imperative thing like certain things are to apply in a certain direction. But again, just keep getting nice sort of dollops on the pad, and just keep going over and applying it so it's all soaked in everywhere, because you want to make sure that once you've done this, you're probably going to want a couple of coatings on it to give it a really good protection, because this is really soaking in here. But that is feeling nice and soft again already. You can see how much darker that's gone compared to this side, compared to here. That's because it's soaking in and it's doing exactly what it needs to do, which is just to soak into the leather, keep it nice and soft, and it's going to help build up that protective layer that the item needs to stop the UV rays, rain and everything else from attacking the actual surface of the skin. So again, you can just come down and just apply a second coating if you needed to make sure it's got plenty of protection on there. You can see there, it's not soaking in now anywhere near as much, because it's now got that protective layer on there, which is exactly what we need it to do. So it's starting to do its thing. The good thing with it is it's got a very intelligent protection system in it. It has like a molecule system that when things become wet, the molecules open and help prevent stains and water penetrating through onto the skin, creating unnecessary stains on the surface. So we can either go and work in this panel next, or we can go to the opposite side. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to work our way around, and we're going to go to the next panel. So this is where it sort of becomes slightly more interesting, because we've got to work in different sort of panel sections. And again, we try to work in those panels so that we're working in even patterns, so that we're not getting unevenness, especially when we're cleaning. You would work in sort of even panels. We would try to work in panel sections at a time to clean something like this, so that you're not over wetting certain areas, or maybe getting too much sort of cleaning fluid on another area. Or if you're not cleaning the full item, what you don't want is to obviously get cleaning fluid on here if you're cleaning just this front section, because it's going to stain these sections here. So you've got to bear that in mind when you're cleaning as well. So let's get to the next section, pull the arm around, and we can get all this sort of underarm sort of side panel area done here and get some protection on that as well. And we're going to do the whole jacket for you today, so you can sort of see exactly how we do this using the LRC 4 protection cream. It's a fantastic natural product. It has a beautiful built-in leather aroma, a genuine leather aroma, and it offers the best protection that you can get out there today. Not only does it feed, because this type of leather is, you can feed it, you know, there are no clear coats on here like you do get with like a pigmented leather. Obviously, even with a pigmented leather, what you've got to understand is after 3 years, that protective coating has disappeared off the surface anyway. So if you want something that's going to work for sort of like something that's sort of before the 3 year, you know, is up on a brand new item, then you want something like the leather protection spray or the leather guard. You can still put this on there. The LRC 4 works perfectly fine on it and it will do the trick. But if you want to actually feed the leather, once it gets to over 3 years old, most of that lacquer is removed from the surface and you're at a point where you can actually feed the leather. So that's when it becomes imperative that protection is applied to the leather. You know, there is this myth on the internet that you cannot feed modern leather. It is absolutely rubbish. Modern leather can be fed. It is completely incorrect information and very poor information to be telling people that you can't feed modern leathers. You can, because after 3 years they are very susceptible to damage happening and they are becoming very absorbent, because it's the clear coat lacquer that is really the waterproof product on the surface. The paints themselves are not really waterproof, so that's where you'd have maybe seen it on car seats, where you've maybe cleaned a car seat and it's left like a streak down the seat. That is because the clear coat lacquer is removed and the water-based cleaning products are trying to soak into the paint. So that is there a good indicator that the item is becoming absorbent, and it requires food like the leather protection cream to seal it back over. Or if you wanted, you could go even further with that and you could apply the LRC 16 clear coat leather sealer. So I mean, you can actually do that if you wanted, which is to apply the lacquer sealer over the top of your car seats if you were going to do that, if you felt that you've got those stains appearing when you're actually doing cleaning and stuff like that. So let's go to this next section here, and we're going to clean this panel in here. We're going to protect this panel in here now. So you're obviously going to have to apply this 2 or 3 times to the item. The good thing that you can do if you wanted to, we needed to get some food in here, but what you could do once you've got a good layer of protection on here, if you wanted to give it even better, you know, sort of like a much stronger repellency against dirt, damage and stuff like that happening, then what you could do is go with the leather guard if you wanted to first of all, or you could go with the leather protection spray if you wanted to first of all, and then you would apply the protection cream over the top, but not the other way around. Because of the special molecule system in this product, you would need to make sure that you applied those other 2 prior to applying this one. So again, get a good coating on there, and you'll see we're sort of getting around the jacket now. It's looking, the thing is, it's adding vibrancy and colour into the item as well. So it's bringing out the colours that the item has already got, and it's adding a lot of moisture back into the item, which is exactly what we need to do, because it was feeling rather dry. And this will probably want a good sort of soaking. It probably wants 2 or 3 goes over with the protection cream for it to really soak it up and to, you know, get it back to ultra soft and supple. But feeling this, it's feeling absolutely lovely once again. So we know it's definitely doing what it needs to do, and it's working exceptionally well. So let's get this flattened back out again. You can see how absorbent it is, exactly, you know, where we're touching it with our hands, where we've got some protection cream on them, it's just soaking straight in. So you can tell how dry this particular item is. It's really dry. So this is going to be adding all of that moisture back into it, which is exactly what you need it to do, to get richness and goodness back into this leather item. And this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be a fantastic, you know, it's going to be absolutely fantastic when it's finished, and it's going to look absolutely brilliant. And it's going to feel soft and supple once again, and it's going to be protected against obviously all the elements of the weather, whether it's winter or summer. It's going to have, you know, added that protection that it needs, and it's going to make it nice and soft and supple and not sort of feel rather cardboardy as it was beginning to feel through lack of care. Really is all that it needs. It just wants the protection on it because it was just feeling rather neglected. It's a bit like our own skin, you know, if we don't sort of nourish and care for our own skin, you know, we start to dry, crack, you know, and things go wrong. So it's exactly the same principle really, you know, with your leather item, other than the fact that obviously we are living, this particular item isn't living anymore, so you have to try to care for it even more than what you would do your own skin. So it's, you know, it's susceptible to a great deal of damage, and it needs that food, and it needs nourishing, it needs protection, and it needs cleaning regular. Because if it's, particularly with an item like this, you know, being an open pore leather, being very absorbent, you know, if the pores become closed, it can't absorb the nutrients and moistures that it needs to keep it soft and supple. So we need to obviously clean it regular to keep those pores cleaned out, so that we can get the food into the actual item itself to keep it soft and supple. But it's really looking nice and vibrant now with the sort of nice sort of light sort of brown that it is. It's looking really nice and vibrant as the colours, and it's bringing those colours out, and it's looking spectacular now after using the LRC Foam Protection Cream. We initially cleaned it over obviously with the aniline leather cleaner, which we went over the whole thing with that first of all with the LRC 7 aniline cleaner, and then obviously we now allowed it to dry for a period. It was like 24 hours. We just let it to naturally dry. You don't want to force dry something like this. We let it naturally dry, because if you force dry you could create stains on the surface. So naturally allowed it to dry, and then we've made sure that it is dry before we start to apply the protection cream, because the mixture of the two on wet surfaces, again, you know, you could create staining if you're not careful. So you don't want to go sort of creating unnecessary stains on the surface of an item. The whole idea of cleaning is to remove those stainings, and that's what we're trying to achieve. And now we're trying to get all the protection cream, you know, applied back in there again to the surface, which is what we're trying to achieve. It's just a matter of patience, but once it's been protected, you know, you can tell a huge difference with it, and it's just going to be absolutely amazing. But it's just a matter of getting it protected all the way over. And it's just, it really is just, it's like a sponge at the moment, because it's so dry as this leather, and it's really soaking everything up, so quickly soaking things up, and it literally is like a sponge, really absorbing everything quite quickly. So we just need to make sure that we can get all this protection on there and get it all soaked into the leather itself, and it'll look absolutely brilliant once again. And you can tell there how it's, you know, making the colours come alive and look very, very vibrant, which is exactly what we want it to do. So we're on to the last sort of process of the arm here. So we're not far off. We just got the front area to do this, and then the around the collar area to do. But we're just getting the front area of this arm done, and then we got the collar area, and it'll look absolutely brilliant. So it's looking fantastic on the surface here. So it's going really, really well, which is exactly what we need it to do. So it's looking brilliant. So we've now got obviously the front to do, you know, on the jacket. So we did the opposite side. Let's get the collar done first of all on the outside, and then we're going to go to the front. So we're going to do all this section round here now, and then we can swap to do the front. So we need to get the collar done round here. So we need to get all of that. Again, look at how you can see how dark it goes straight away with all the richness that it's putting back into it. It's amazing how dry leather can become if it's, you know, if it's not cared for correctly, if it's been left to be, you know, sort of, if it's had slight, you know, if it's been neglected, you know, it just dries up, and it's a shame because it's so beautiful. You know, such a natural leather item. So let's get this section clean, you know, protected here now. Any areas where you got like bigger amounts like that, just rub them out with your finger. You know, it's not going to create any problems, but we can now get these bigger areas sorted and get them protected on this front as well. So we just need to make sure that we've got all these areas done nicely so that we can get all of this protected and all covered up nicely and get it all done. So that's the main thing. Once it's all protected, it'll be, you know, we can let it sit again, and we'll probably apply a second and third coating on here to make sure that that protection and softness is really built up on the surface, and it looking fantastic once again. And it's got all the protection layers that it needs to have, you know, all built up on it, and it's going to be brilliant. And that's what we're trying to sort of obviously achieve, is get all those protection layers built up. But even just after cleaning, you know, it looked absolutely fantastic. It enhanced the colour. You know, the cleaning brought out, you know, added, obviously, cleaner's got softness and things in it, adding natural oils back into the leather itself, you know, being the aniline, and it added richness, it added quality. It enhanced the colours of the leather jacket, which is exactly what we need it to do. But that is exactly how you're going to protect your leather jacket, you know, and apply the protection cream to the surface, and you're just going to let it dry. You don't need to go putting on dollops. A lot of people sort of make the mistakes where they sort of get a load of this and they sort of blather it on like this and leave it like this. You shouldn't be applying protection cream and doing this. Now, the other thing you should not be doing as well with a protection cream product, being a water-based item, is you should not be applying this on, say, like a car interior and putting the item away for winter while this is still wet, because you will create a like a mold growth issue because you're dealing with a water-based product. So you need to ensure that you do not put this on wet. You need to ensure that this is completely 100% dry once you put your item away. So hang it out to dry, put the item away, and once it's fully dry, you can then put the item away. But do not attempt to put your item away with it being still wet, you know, because you're going to create issues. Even if you put it in a wardrobe at home, you're going to create issues with the item if you're putting it away wet. So you just got to bear that in mind. But that is the leather jacket, and that is how we're going to protect the leather jacket. It's going to want another coating on there, but once again, you can see how it's made the colours look. You know how it's made the jacket look. It's popped. You know, it's brought the colours out. It looks absolutely fantastic. We use the LRC sponge, and we use the LRC 4 protection cream. And obviously, watch our other video about how to clean your sponges and extend the life of them. I mean, they're only a very cheap item, but you can extend the life of these. Some of these we have in house. You know, they've lasted well over a year with care, cleaning, and then drying properly to save sort of replacing them. I mean, they're only sort of, I mean, maybe they're £1 something item, but we do clean these out and reuse them regularly, and it extends the life of them. You know, at the end of the day, everything is money, and money is, you know, everything costs money, and obviously, you know, money is always a difficult subject with anybody, but we try to save wherever we possibly can, and that's a great way of saving money by cleaning these pads out. But look at the other video about cleaning the pads out. We'll put a link in the bio for this video, but check the video text out. It'll give you all the details that you need to know about buying the products with links to our shop. But head on over to the website leatherrepaircompany.com. Thank you very much.